Hey guys, Magnus Robert here, bringing you the first part in the 10-part Saviours theme. Today, we're going to be looking at one of the first Saviours we see, of course, that being Tina, sister to Sherry and sister-in-law to Dwight. Tina is, of course, female. She is played by Liz E. Morgan. She is early to mid-20s and first appeared in Always Accountable. Before the outbreak, Tina was born in Virginia, and of course, had her big sister Sherry looking out for her. However, she was born with diabetes, so she would require regular insulin to live. The two sisters would babysit Carla and Deli together, and soon Sherry married Dwight. And when the outbreak began, Tina was in DC for some reason, and Sherry and Dwight had to go there to come rescue her. At some point, the trio met the Saviours, and they each joined the community known as the Sanctuary. They were all workers at the community and would have to earn points for supplies. This included the insulin that Tina needed to live. At some point, Tina fell behind in her points and she couldn't afford to purchase her insulin anymore. Negan offered a solution: marry him and she can have all the insulin she wants. Tina pretends to consider the offer, but instead her, Sherry and Dwight steal all of the insulin and escape the sanctuary. They plan to find the fuel truck that Sherry and Dwight had used to set a fire all those years ago, and, of course, then hightail out of the Saviour's grasps. However, they were still in the woods when the episode began. In Season 6, whilst running from the Saviours and thinking Daryl is one of them, Tina hides with her sister, but soon they are both found by Daryl. Sherry tells Daryl they earned what they took, and Daryl is knocked out by Dwight. At night, they huddle around a fire as Daryl comes in and out of consciousness. In the morning, Tina watches as Dwight threatens Daryl, and soon Tina walks through the woods with the others, and Sherry tells her to stay hydrated, which she does by drinking some water. She listens as Dwight gives more ground rules to Daryl, and then Tina asks about how it happened, with the fire in the woods and the burning and all that. And of course, Dwight explains what happened during the initial start of the outbreak when him and Sherry were in that woods. She watches Dwight threaten Daryl and some more, and then soon they find where Paddy, the fuel truck, should be, but find it is gone, and the place it should be is overwhelmed with the dead. Dwight has a new plan, but Tina voices that they don't have to do this for her, and they should just head back to the sanctuary and blame her for them leaving. Tina then collapses from the stress and her low blood sugar, and Daryl legs it with the bag that contains the insulin. Daryl eventually returns with the insulin and tells Dwight to hand over his gun and also his little wooden statue carving. He hands the insulin over in return and prepares to leave, but the Saviours roll through. Dwight and Sherry shout to Wade that they earned what they keep, and they all prepare to escape, but Daryl shows them the way to go that would avoid them getting captured. Tina is helped to walk by Daryl as well, which is very nice of Daryl. Tina then begins to faint again, and she and the others hide away from the Saviours, but luckily the Saviours soon leave, and Sherry gives Tina her insulin that she so desperately needs. They walk through the woods, heading to Carla and Deli's cabin for shelter, but suddenly Tina notices the house and runs to it. She then sees that due to the fire that Dwight and Sherry caused all those years ago, it resulted in the house burning down and also the deaths of Carla and Deli. Tina lays flowers on their bodies when suddenly this happens to Tina. As it turns out, they weren't so dead. Tina is bitten on the neck by both Carla and Deli, the children she used to babysit. She screams in pain, and Sherry takes Tina into her arms as she dies, telling her dying sister, "We had to try, we had to try." Tina is then buried in the woods by Daryl and Dwight. R.I.P. Tina. Tina is a really interesting departure from the comics. Showing us Dwight and Sherry earlier was also a really good idea. Tina herself isn't much of an interesting character. She's really just this scared woman who sadly dies at the end, mainly because of the results of her sister and brother-in-law. But she really shows us who Dwight and Sherry are. Dwight, a capable fighter who loves his wife, and Sherry, a loving sister willing to do anything for said sister. Then when we next see these two, Dwight is a psychopath and Sherry is just jaded and depressed. Tina's death really hit them hard and changed everything for these two characters. So tell me your thoughts on Tina, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.